Hello, welcome to AI Next. This is a platform, a broadcast intended and designed to activate, educate, and calibrate divine intelligence in us, which is the best intelligence, the finest intelligence. It's only intelligence that is flawless, and it's only intelligence that is rated when it comes to doing you and doing life. I've told us, okay, when it comes to doing you as a person and doing life as God intended it to be, the only intelligence that can handle is God's intelligence. And God designed to resource us with that intelligence. We are designed to be a resource with that intelligence. And that is what we call the mind of Christ. And Christ came to position us, to reposition us in God, and to give the Holy Spirit as a leverage to be able to gain that intelligence. Because that is the only thing that is superior. This is the wisdom that the devil cannot handle. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 2, is a wisdom that is superior. Say we speak wisdom when those are mature. The wisdom the world or the prince of this it does not know. If they have known, it can't handle this wisdom. Actually, this is the wisdom that can let you be devil hands down without fight. I won't tell you that our strategy in the church at times, I don't know, we just love using mediocre, poor, strategy to win, to fight. And it's costing us too much. It's not cost effective. Wisdom is profitable to direct. A wise man will beat a strong man flat without using energy. And so embrace God's kind of wisdom. So I've educated God's competency, and we've taught different kind of component of intelligence and then apostolic competence and intelligence. So there we just want to charge us and challenge us with one of the things that can actually align us properly to this competency and to this standard of intelligence is upgrade. We need what they call elevation alignments. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews to raise many sons on the glory. We are meant to be raised. Raise me to be elevated. It is God to raise is for you to rise. If God raises you and you don't rise, you waste the race. You've been raised to sit together with Christ in heavenly places, but you need to rise into it. And to rise requires an alignment in our life, what they call alignment, elevation alignment, where you align your spirit, your mindset, your thoughts, your behavior. A lot of things have to be aligned and synchronized into your highest fashion. So elevation alignment is where you intentionally and strategically align your mindset, your thought pattern, your fashion, your vision, your value, your function, your behavior, your environment, perfectly into your highest aspiration of purpose, calling, and possibility of attainment. And you must know you need to be able to do that. Because if you don't do that, you get stuck in low class. And a lot of people are living in low class of life. That is how we are seeing an illiteracy and lack of growth has relegated them. And this is what happened at low class of life. Low class is where struggle, mediocrity, and abnormality have been normalized. This is the normal in that context of life. Low class is not just something from a class. It's just a state and context of life. When you remain in a particular state and context, there's a low class context where mediocrity is normalized, where abnormality is normalized, where struggle is the normal. They see it as a normal way of life, but that's not the normal God for our lives. We are not designed to be struggling. Diligence, responsibility, it doesn't mean to be. Actually, struggle comes where struggle becomes struggle is a default. Struggle is a product of lack of maturity, lack of competency, and lack of set skill and tool skill. Lack of maturity, competency, right tool, and right set skill automatically predict struggle. So people struggle where there's no the standard maturity as regard to that responsibility or assignments. That is struggle by normal. Once you are not mature for a given task, you struggle. Once you lack the set skills, you struggle. Once you lack the right tool, you will struggle. Struggle can be demystified. As small as given now today, life is full of struggle. Life is struggle. Calm down, come please. Life is not for struggle. Struggle happen when man fail. Simple. And Christ has came to fix that. We don't have to continue living struggle. Whoever is normalizing that for you is literate, spiritually and divinely literate. That does not mean I have a lot to do. Yes, with the right tool, you can do all you need to do efficiently. I don't care how enormous your responsibility, your assignment. If you have access to the right intelligence, you have the right maturity for it. It's not something you undertake prematurely, because a lot of people, they get to struggle when they undertake a phase of life prematurely. For example, you go and marry, you are not mature enough, you don't have a system in place, you don't have a plan, you don't have people, have children, and then with the school bill, a lot of bill upon you. You are going to struggle, your earning power is low, and that's why you are struggling. No, that's what you call for yourself. I know you don't do that intentionally, because you don't know that there's a level of preparation that determines your sufficiency before you step to that phase of life. And you allow society to put pressure on you, and you get into marriage, and you start having kids, unplanned, unchecked, back to back. Now you have a 6 kid with a what? How much your earning power? You're earning 50,000 naira in this current economy. That's it. That's actually recipe for struggle. And unfortunately, you're going to transfer that struggle to your children until they break it, because there was not a good plan. That is not. I mean, devil. You say that is devil. That's not devil. That's ignorance. Devil come and feast on it to frustrate your life. What I'm trying to say is this. So people struggle where there is no rated maturity, there's no right set of skills, right competency, and right tools. Trust me, that is the red ticket to struggle. And so in a low class life, so their normal in that place is, look at where there's high level literacy. Go and look at the kind of place that's very dominant. Go and look at that. You see them a lot of struggle, mediocrity will dominate that place, and you see a lot of abnormalities, and they will actually think that's the life. And they can actually be okay with it, because ignorance is bliss. But the point I'm saying is this. So with that upgrade that align you to your elevated calling and preordination, you might find yourself by default living a low class of life, which is actually where there's a struggle mode. People are in a struggle and survival mode in that state of life. You can break out of that mode. And for that to happen, you need to actually embrace upgrade, which is called elevation alignment, where you align your mindset, your thoughts pattern, your understanding, your fashion, the present fashion, because now you cannot solve the problem at the same level where it's being created. It's not practical. You can't solve any problem at the same level where it's been created. You have to step up. It takes higher dimension to fix the lower dimension. It's just principle like law of aerodynamics. It's a higher law than the law of gravity. It's as simple as that. There's a law of gravity, but law of aerodynamics is a superior law that defeated it. When plane is rising, it does not mean the law of gravity is not existing. It neutralizes it by law of aerodynamics, by engaging the law of lift and law of thrust. And without two combinations of law, they neutralize the law of gravity. That's actually superior. And that's a principle. You can also use the same law to rise. There's a law of gravity that says the law of gravity makes rising difficult. It's law of gravity. It's a law. It does not make any rising sustainable, because where goes or comes on. You can't sustain rising. So with the law of gravity without using superior law that called law of thrust. It's what actually, because there's a counter. There's an opposing forces, but law of thrust neutralizes it. What I'm trying to say by that parable is this: is okay, fine. No matter the odds of life or contradiction, there's a law that can defeat them. But that can only happen when you experience upgrade that is exposed to superior advantage, forces, and tool and skills. So you need to embrace elevation alignments. And I'm going to show you some key areas you need to work on your alignment to form for an elevation purpose. And so this, if you're into science, there's what they call engineering system. And one of the things that engineering is called elevation engineering. So in that elevation engineering is where you intentionally synchronize and introduce a science that favors those upgrades. It is called elevation engineering or upgrade engineering. But this time around, let's leave the other time. I can engage that strategically to demystify and to educate brilliancy that we need when it comes to how we work in upgrade. Because when it comes to upgrade and elevation, there are things that must consider in your life: growth, development, and evolution. Is a consistent that has to happen. As much about this era does not even actually, we are going to grow fastly. You have to embrace evolution, because evolution is more effective, more sophisticated than growth and development. Because when it comes to growth, you grow. It makes to grow better. When it comes to elevation, it makes to grow higher. So that's not the same. You can be growing better, which is linear, or elevation make you grow higher, which is exponential. So when it comes to, and this time around, when you are living in a fast-paced generation, you cannot be growth at times to catch up. So you need to be evolving rapidly. So you have to grow higher and higher to be on the cutting edge of this generation. Now you blame that on the people that are not resting 24/7, working on innovation, working on advancement, and trust me, they are not considering your own pace to make the world go forward. So you cannot be dragging when it comes to growth. You need to be on a fast pace of growth to make sure that you're on the cutting edge, that you are not lacking behind in contemporary competency. Because basically, if you lack contemporary competency, you'll be living a primitive life. You'll be living a primitive life. I'll come and unpack that the other time. The implication of primitive life is terrible. Unfortunately, in Africa is still primitive. Far much behind of the contemporary competency and reality. It's very unfortunate. And that takes on the citizens of Africa, because of the lack of the kind of leadership we have, are not actually, they are making the growth and the development are going to be dragging by not using the right competency, the right system that can actually accelerate, and then now bring the right intentionality that can do that on time. So it's turning on a lot of citizens of Africa in many respects and reducing their life, relegating them to living a low class life compared to the Western world. They've normalized a lot of things for us here that we are okay with, which they actually don't okay. And it's very funny. I don't know, for example, like in Nigeria, for example, I don't know why we can't have 24/7 electricity in this era now. I don't know what is only, let's only that other day. But in this era, living in a country that is not fixed and becomes something that I've not even seen that. Let's leave that for other time, please. But what I might challenge for you is that you need an elevation alignment. And what I think you need to align, because elevation alignment is intentional and strategic synchronization of your thoughts, value, your action, your fashion into your highest vision, purpose, and potential. If you are going to attain your highest of your potential, your vision, your purpose, you need that elevation. And these are things you are going to intentionally align, your inner alignment. You have to have your inner state must be aligned properly. And that's where renewal and transformation comes in. So if you don't transform, there's an inner man in you that needs to be elevated. And that requires growth and transformation. So if you are not prioritizing your growth, which unfortunately, listen carefully, let me tell you, when you break this at the right order of your life, once you don't put that order in place as a priority, unconscious, unknowingly, you are using a blueprint and strategy of mediocrity and survival, and it's going to tell on your life. This is the right template and blueprint you use. Listen carefully, Master. This is the blueprint and template. God first, growth follows. Everything that follows. When that priority is not honored or misplaced, trust me, subtly you won't know how you are expressing struggle and limitations, no matter where. Because that priority is what sustains you. You put God first, not because God is begging for you to put Him first. God is okay. But putting God first, you're like prioritizing God, and then we're so smart that He has disrupted the old template and structure and put a system in place to make it difficult for you to put God first in your life. And then followed by also putting your growth first. So follows God and growth. That's who G. Trust me, it makes you G. If you don't put God first, it's not like just you can go to church, doesn't mean you put God first. That can be just obligation and commitment. About your life, and talking is not fine because agree, it's not just because you're going to church consistently and every time that's it, you're going to go first. It is when God takes that priority in your person as a controlling factor. And it's one that is, ruling who you are, dictating you are, the interest of God controls your person, how you live your life. That is putting God first. Though that will translate to going to, a living church as according to their design of their fellowship, because I think that's also designed to empower you, to educate you. I hope I'm correct, because some programs, the education value is so low. It's one religious value. But if the value can find the empowerment value is very high, I think you find that's going to be for them advantage. If every time you go, it's for strategic empowerment that has to add value to your person, trust me, you have no to lose an advantage. But it's just for religious obligations and rituals and routine, trust me, I don't think it can be time wasting. As much as I don't want to forsake the assembly of the saints because God protects that for us. But I hold that people that are stewarding that, they actually they steward that properly by designing for something that is highly empowering for you. That's adding right value to your spiritual life, your mental development, your holistic development, and then that can make sure that it's actually good advantage for who you are in your progress. Then, so God is the first priority in your life in all ramifications. Because God will feed, when God comes first, God takes care of many things in your life. He feeds many dimensions in your life. I feed it and fix it. That's why God feeds many dimensions and fix many dimensions in your life when you put him first. And then your growth, you prioritize growth intentionally. And then you can now fix other follows according to your scale of preference or other necessity. But that too top in the list. Any ignorance or something that make you to validate that will turn your life. Once you validate that to top priority, God and growth. Anything that makes you busy than for God and growth is a set-off. Sometimes they excuse I'm too busy for God and for growth is a wrong business. It's a set-off for your life. So investigate it and do something about it. I know there's a way we get things upside there, we get things so twisted. I know there's a system of the world have set us up for that. The joy we create it. That is smart. He has put a system in place to some advantage. And people didn't suspect the following system that okay, fine. It make us too busy at the expense of time for God and for growth. Please be smart. Fight your way out. And oftentimes, most of us we are too complicated. It's not this job. You have not yet sorted. Your life is just too complicated unnecessarily. Busy for what? When you investigate that business, no productivity. So don't just be busy for business sake. Investigate your business so you can be able to know what is wrong in that equation. And when you investigate it, now restructure your life, reposition yourself to point that you can put God first. As I said, not religiously, as a means that God has to feed your spirit, your mind, your functions, and also fix them. And also you can put growth also follow. So that's the first alignment you have to gain in your life. You need inner alignment. Then you need value alignment. Check your value. If your value is low and warped, that's going to affect you in your elevation. You won't rise enough. Your value will be betraying your rising and you won't know. Because you only live at the level of your value. You don't live at the level of your aspiration. You live at the level of value system you put in place. Anybody can aspire for anything, but value can betray that. And still can betray that. So make sure you elevate your value. Upgrade your value in alignment with as God said it. So value can be upgraded. Review your value if it is low value, wrong value, work on that value system. Then you need to also work on functional alignment, how you function. Review your value, how you function, and check any misalignment, and also work and upgrade that place. Where can I upgrade my functions? You need functional upgrade, which more you have to actually grow more, improve more to be able to upgrade as you function. So which captured how you live and how you handle life. And that's what you are doing. You need to check that and look at the competency and everything that goes in that place. You need functional upgrade to actually begin. You will also need skill upgrade to elevate. You will need skill upgrade. Look at where to upgrade your skill. Maybe I'm going to come back with them actually because some of us, our skill is totally outdated. You need what they call competency upgrade. You need contemporary competency. I'm going to land that back. You need emotional upgrade to gain emotional intelligence. You will need environmental upgrade. Check your environment, your friendship, and everything. You need upgrade in those areas if you are going to begin. Now, let me now come to the contemporary competency upgrade. Listen carefully. With that contemporary competency, you just choose to live a blunt life, which is a dull or dumb life. In Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10, it says, if the iron is blunt, you are going to use more strength. And blunt iron means you like a cutting edge skill. You are using a blunt iron. It's an iron, but it's blunt. So anyone that lacks contemporary competence now is using a blunt iron. Because contemporary give you a cutting edge skills. And so please, that alone can frustrate you. Not having contemporary competency, you can only be working harder, not working higher or smarter. And that can be very frustrating. unfortunately, this generation, this era does not reward hard work. It only reward smart work. Hard work is what? Is underpaid. Why? Because machine has resourced it. Machine has replaced it. So this is generation that is not hard work is trying to eradicate hard work. Hard work is underpaid. As much can pay, I work too hard. I put on, oh, sorry, I pity you. You eventually see someone that's working higher and smarter pay more than you. And that can be frustrating. With all the effort I put in place, yes, because those efforts are being outsourced to by machine. And most of those efforts are outdated efforts. And that is why you need to master contemporary competency. And there are two things that are going to pick because of time on contemporary competency. You need contemporary awareness. You have to have an awareness of this contemporary era. You need an awareness that puts you into knowing of awareness, a lot of environmental awareness, life awareness, a lot of awareness is going on. And some of us, we need to catch up with awareness. If you are going to be able to game in this era now, you need awareness upgrade. To what extent are you aware what is going on now in this era? You need an awareness. Without awareness, you need, I want to see, okay, the kind of awareness you will need to actually work upon to be able to game, before I call it the skill, in this era, that you need to work upon, as you will need personal awareness of who you are, because you need to gain more awareness, because self-awareness. And in that awareness, let you know what is missing in your person. Are you a contemporary, a modern person? Outdated person? You will need cultural awareness. Things are changing. It gives you understanding of the modern lifestyle, culture, and social environment that you are in. The social dynamics. It lets you understand the dynamics and the possibility of this era and the challenges that goes into it. You will need technology awareness. What kind of technology is reigning now? You will need social and political awareness, what is going on, because all these things has impact on your life. You're going to have direct or indirect impact on your life. You will need those awareness. You will need economy awareness. The dynamics of finance and with the dynamics of the economy has changed entirely. So you need that. You will need, moral and ethical awareness. Those are the few basic strategic awareness you need to have in this era. Before I go to the set of skills you need to have now. So without those awareness, you are living an irrelevant and outdated life. And that can actually speak struggle. Whatever you would think out of outdated thoughts. And you might actually be taking pleasure and delight in that thought, but it won't lead to something. So you need to work on those awareness strategically. And then that is going to, down to, you have to also find them contemporary competence and skill. So you have to acquire new skills. And from that awareness, we put in perspective of necessary skills. Especially you will need contemporary life skill. That's a contemporary life skill. You will need that, the kind of ability and skill that it takes to live life in this era and to handle the complexity and the challenge that causes them. And those life skills, you will need what we call personal life management skills. You will need critical thinking and problem-solving skills, which allow you to analyze situation logically, to make sound decisions. You will need emotional intelligence. You will need communication skills, how to communicate confidently and strategically. You will need digital literacy and fluency, because we are living in the digital era. You have to understand how to navigate the digital dynamics, digital world, and how to interact with that. You will need collaboration skills and teamwork skills. That is, you need adaptability and flexibility skills. These are the skills you will need in this era. You will need leadership skills. You will need financial intelligence and financial skills. So you will need growth management skills. So these are the few skills that are very essential for you to be effective in this era. So, and that your other mention, for you to get in that place, you need to start working on your elevation alignment, because it takes an upgrade to be able to be game and be rated in all those I've mentioned. So when you work on your alignment, we start from internal transformation to your value system, thinking pattern, your functions, your behavior, your environment, your set of skills, trust me, that will put you in the right mix, in the right condition, that puts you on the cutting edge of competency. So it's part of apostolic intelligence, because God wants you to actually work on that upgrade for your life. And if the church you are going is not strategically empowering you in such level of progressiveness and put you on a cutting edge competency, I think they need to review their strategy of empowerment. You get what I'm to say? Day unto day is the voice. Every day speak the voice of the Lord. There's a voice God is speaking now. You need to understand the voice of God, and God is speaking different dimensions to our lives. So one of the things you need to master now is elevation alignment, because God wants to elevate your life. But God actually have done that, but your own part is to rise. And your rising is working on your upgrade. God has raised you. He has done his own part. He has used Christ to raise you. But you need to arise and shine, for your light has come. If you don't rise, and part of to rise to know how to elevate. And how to elevate to know how to upgrade. It's simple. If you don't know how to elevate, it's simply know how to upgrade yourself from internal to external, to be able to meet the standard of operation of the context of life you are living. It's not conforming to the world, but it's, you know what? It's ruling the world. It's been the light of the world. It's been the salt of the heart, not conforming, but being the light. And light means you are taking the leading role. And how do you lead when you are incompetent? It takes competency to lead. The world will not follow you if you are not competent. You don't have an edge. You won't have what it takes to lead the world effectively and efficiently, and they can't follow. They only follow when there's competency. You command followership by competency and modeling right value. So please, I challenge you in this broadcast. Look at your next. Work on your elevation alignment. Elevate. Because arise and shine. This is your light. Work on your elevation alignment. Work on your upgrade. Recap of that is mean elevate your inner being, inner transformation. Elevate your thought pattern. Elevate your value system. Elevate your fashion as a person. Elevate your environment, change your relationship. Elevate your skills. If you work on this elevation, trust me, you'll be in the cutting edge. Love you. Catch you next.